I'm live. Oh my gosh. At least I think I am. Ah, there we go. Apparently I've been live for 2 minutes. That doesn't make sense. Okay, hey everybody and welcome. And gosh, I hope you can hear me. That is the most important thing. And I'm going to assume that's a yes. Okay. Right, getting myself organised. Hello, I'm Vicky Blades, your video coach. Today I'm going to talk about camera confidence. We're going to go back to basics. Camera confidence 101. My top 5 tips for looking and feeling great on screen. But before I dive in, let's give it a couple of minutes to see if anybody's going to jump on live. Now, that's interesting. So now my timer has gone back to 1 minute. Very odd. Facebook being very odd these days. Okay, so I've possibly chosen the worst day of the year to do this for Europe, for the UK. You're having the hottest day of the year so far. I hope you're all safe and managing to stay cool. I'm hoping you're inside and maybe even decided to be online and watching this, but I can completely understand if you are not, or if you're outside making the most of the fantastic sunshine, especially in hard to reach places like the north of Ireland and Northern Ireland and Scotland, Wales. I hope you're really having a great time and not finding it too difficult in the heat. Conversely, although I'm in the tropics, we're actually in the middle of winter and it is very cold. Today is a glorious day, but it is, well, it's around about 20 degrees actually, which is not too bad for the middle of the day. But we're so used to the hot weather that feels quite cool. So, right, so today, camera confidence 101. Just wanted to give a little bit of context why I'm doing this. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've talked about camera confidence. It's been a while since I've done a live. It's been ages since I've done a training. And I thought it was about time. I recently sent out a survey asking people all sorts of questions actually around videos and around content and video marketing and so on. And 2 surprising things came out of it. Camera confidence was not the #1 concern that most people have, which I think is because nowadays we're so much more used to being on screens. Consistency was actually #1. Consistency is kind of having systems and strategies and frameworks and so on. So there's more training coming up on that. But it also made me really look at my content and realise that although I run the Camera Confidence Club and I call myself a video coach, I haven't talked about camera confidence in months. So, you'll be pleased to know I actually have a little playlist with these top 5 tips on. Each one is a tiny sort of bite-sized video. So, you can always catch the replay of this, or you can go and catch my playlist on YouTube. If you like the link, put the link below this video. Okay. As always, if you're with me live, say hello. We've got a few people on, so I'm going to say hello already and just double check that I can see the comments. Yay! Dion can hear me, so that is great. Thank you so much. Yes, so if you're here live, drop me a hello or an emoji, and if you're here watching the replay, just put #replay. That would be much appreciated. So, first up, on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you with making videos? 1 being not at all confident and 5 being super confident. So let me know in the comments, 1 to 5, how confident do you feel about being on video? Now remember, video can be all sorts of things, and I'm including everything here from training videos. Maybe you hop online to do coaching, maybe you're super comfortable doing Zoom meetings and co-working sessions and online networking. But what about marketing videos? How do you feel about that? Anyway, let me know, just in general terms, about getting on camera, hitting record, chatting to the camera. How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being not so confident, 5 being super confident. I'm also, 4. Oh, that's great, love that. I'm also aware that I've got a couple of camera phobics in the group. And I've got something special coming up for you. I might be teaming up with another coach to talk about how to get over a fear of being on camera, right? That's quite extreme. But I know there's a couple of people who have real anxiety about hitting record. Anyway, wherever you are on the scale, you are very welcome here. And I hope, even if you're at a 4 and a 5, you are going to get something out of this today. And of course, keep commenting, keep asking questions, keep chatting to me, and tell me what you think as we go along. Now, I'm going to try and keep this to half an hour, and I've already wibbled on for 5 minutes. So let's get into it, shall we? So first up, what's the most important thing? Or what have I put at the top of my top 5 list? I would say actually these are not in any particular order, but these are just how I think of them, because these are probably the things that I tell my clients over and over and over again. And the very first thing I always say is breathe. I know. Couldn't be easier, could it? We all breathe all the time. Could not be simpler. So what do I mean by breathe? Well, first of all, we often forget to do deep breathing, or as I like to call it, wide breathing, breathing into the bottom of our lungs. We all have breathing habits, like we have postural habits and speech habits, and often, I would say about 80% of people have a habit of breathing, having chest breath. So you just breathe quite shallowly into this part of the chest. That's okay, no one's going to die, obviously. But when it comes to feeling centered and grounded and calming nerves, in order to feel confident, you do need to get a bit deeper down into your lungs. And this is so beneficial in so many ways anyway. But what I want you to do is imagine this breath is, in fact, you can put your hands on your rib cage slightly and imagine this breath is pushing your ribs out. And that will help get the oxygen down further into your lungs. Okay, so that's a good practice to do anyway, just a few times a day. Take a nice sort of slow, wide breath. But the other thing that a deep breath does, or a slow, wide breath, is it calms down your parasympathetic nervous system. Yes. Basically, it sends a signal to the brain to say, it's okay, we've got this, there's no danger, everybody stand down, we're not going to get killed by a buffalo or whatever it is. We don't need to activate our fight or flight. Let's stand down, we're all calm. So taking some deep breaths is really, really beneficial if you're feeling a little bit anxious. So before you hit record, or if you're going live, take a moment. And in fact, this is if you're doing any kind of speaking that makes you a little bit anxious. Maybe you're doing a presentation, you're doing some coaching, public speaking, whatever. Take a moment, and honestly, it doesn't have to take, it might feel like hours to you, but it's literally just a minute or 2. And I always recommend a minimum of 3 breaths. So take those 3 breaths. And what that does, it helps you feel calm, it grounds you because you're not kind of fidgeting and moving around, you're kind of just focusing, and it makes you present. The wonderful thing about being present in the moment where you actually are right now is that your brain isn't going off on tangents going, oh my God, I'm going to be sick, I'm going to fall over, everybody's going to hate me, everyone's going to be looking at me, all of those worrying thoughts that we have all of the time. Just by focusing in the moment, the brain kind of takes a little holiday. So all those anxieties are pushed out of the way for the time being. Okay, so number 1, breathe, my friends. Breathe. The other thing that happens when we get nervous is we get short of breath. And what will happen as you're talking, quite often, I don't know if you've experienced this, you'll start to feel as if you haven't got a breath. And that's because your nerves are kicking in and it constricts all our muscles. So we haven't got enough room in our torso. And then you start to panic because then you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to run out of breath. And of course we talk faster as well. I'm coming on to that. We talk faster when we're nervous. So the second reason breath is really important is that it's going to help you to speak more clearly, and don't be afraid to take a breath while you're talking. It's okay. It's perfectly natural. We don't expect you to just go on and on and on and on till you run out of breath. And if you feel yourself running out of breath, then stop. Take a moment. Take a drink. And be honest with the audience and say, oh, give me a moment. Ah, that's better. It's okay. Which brings me nicely onto point number 2. Slow down. Yeah. I really want you to slow down. Oh, I was going to say a quick hello. Hey, Marie. Nice to see you. Slowing down is counterintuitive when you're nervous because it feels like you want to get it over with. You want to finish quickly. You want to get all of those words out of your mouth so that you can stop being in front of the camera or stop being on a stage or stop being on a screen and calm down. But here's an interesting thing. 3 things happen when we slow down, can you tell? I'm really slowing my speech down. Now, everybody has their own speed at which they speak. But your conversational speech may not suit on screen. Okay, so I'll say that again. Your conversational speed may not suit being on camera because some people talk really fast. It takes us a while to tune our ears into a speaker, so you should always slow down at the beginning. I'm terrible at that, I always forget. And if you're at a pace where you feel slightly uncomfortable, like I am now, then you're probably at the right pace. Okay. The second thing that happens when we slow down, sorry, did I say the first thing? Let's go back. So the first thing that happens when you slow down is you actually give your brain time to think about what to say. And this makes everybody nervous because they think that they're going to go blank. And that isn't what happens. Because actually what happens is that you're giving yourself time to find the next words. Okay? And the upshot of that is you stop umming and erring. So umming and erring are what we call, just done it now, oh God, what's the word? It's filling in a gap when we don't know what to say, and it's the brain going, hold on, it's kind of scrambling to keep up and going, I'm coming, I've got the words, in the meanwhile, just say So if you slow down, you'll eliminate the ums and fillers, that's what they're called. They're speech fillers. So it's us filling the space with noise because we can't remember the words. So slowing down will help you remember what to say more clearly and eliminate the ums and the errs. And finally what happens when you slow down is that we think you sound very authoritative. If you're speaking fast, sometimes it pushes your voice up into a higher register. Higher register voices are associated with children and of course with women. Inevitably we do have a higher register. But the perception is that you might sound a bit nervous, you might sound young, and you might sound a bit inexperienced. When you slow down, however, we think, here's someone who knows what they're talking about. And it actually kind of draws us in as an audience to listen to you. So we confer status on you when you speak slowly and eliminate the ums and the errs. I know it's like magic, isn't it? So let's have a quick recap. We've got breathe and we've got slow down. And I need to speed up because I've still got 3 points to go. And the third one is actually probably the most important when it comes to camera confidence. And it's what I like to call over-prepare and under-rehearse. Preparation, my friend, is the key to camera confidence. I know. You may think, and yes, lots of people do, that you just hit record, show up, and off you go. Now, it takes a while to get to that point. I'm very happy doing that, but there are certain things that I do now automatically that took me a while in the beginning to kind of step by step prepare for looking that natural and feeling feeling good on camera. So there are certain things that you need to do in order to prepare. First of all, you need to be very clear about who are you talking to and what are you talking about. You need to have those bullet points or a structure for your video. Now, this is where a framework is really useful. I have a simple framework called the one-page video script, also known as what to say when you don't know what to say. And that takes you through a very, very simple structure, or a framework, I should say, for each video. So it's an intro, that's about who you are, or a hello. What you're going to talk about it, CTA, call to action, outro, how to sign off. Because how to finish a video is just as important as how to begin a video, in my opinion. That's the simple one. A slightly more advanced option gives you a little bit more in terms of getting engagement questions in there, how to interact with your audience, remembering to really get lots of people commenting. I don't know if you've ever been to one of these online. I was at Coach Fest recently, it was amazing, and some of those videos were getting over 300 comments, right? Now they were on for an hour, so that's kind of fair enough, but you need to get those comments going on a video, only if you're on for an hour. Hopefully not if you're just doing short business videos, that's slightly different. But having a framework, knowing exactly how you're going to start and how you're going to finish every time, working out your CTA, working out your 3 bullet points, knowing who you're talking to, all of that prep is so important. Knowing where you're going to record, when you're going to record, have you got your lighting sorted out? Have you got your framing sorted out? Do you know what you're going to wear? I mean, there's a lot to think about. But this is where having that step-by-step kind of system in place is so important, because the other thing that preparation does, it makes you feel more confident. Imagine as an actor, if I walk on stage and I haven't even read the script. This is the subject of my anxiety dreams. I'd have so many dreams about turning up and having learnt the wrong play, or having not learnt my lines, or wearing the wrong costume. Oh my goodness. So preparation, as with everything in life, is absolutely key. And that just means that you have the confidence, because you're like, yes, I know what I'm talking about. Yes, I know where I'm going to record. I know who I'm talking to, and so on. So preparation, although you might think that there are people out there who just effortlessly hit record and go, they've done it with preparation, my friends. Really, really important. Now, the under-rehearse, over-prepare, under-rehearse, means that I don't want you to be going over and over what you're going to say. I don't like scripts. I don't want you to be word perfect, because all that happens then is that you end up trying to remember your lines. Let's not do that. So I want you to prepare as much as humanly possible, so that when you do hit record or go live, you're absolutely confident in what you're saying, why you're saying it, who you're saying it to, how you're going to start, how you're going to finish. All of those things are already worked out, so you don't have to think about them. All you have to think about is your brilliant thing that you're talking about, the amazing product, the amazing offer, the fantastic service, this new bit of information, whatever it is that you're talking about on your video, it's still time to shine and get enthusiastic and excited and tell everybody why they need this thing in their life. And if you've done all the prep already, then that's the only thing you have to worry about, is the brilliant thing that you totally believe in anyway. Okay, so that's why prep is so key. And like I say, once you've done it a few times, like me, I'm so used to it now, I literally just go because it's already in my brain, that whole process, that step-by-step framework, it's all there. And that can be you, my friend. The other thing I want to say is that, so I'm just checking my notes. Hey, yes, if you feel like there's a lot of pressure on you to do perfect videos or to do it the right way, obviously my way, one of the things that I tell clients that are really anxious about making videos is to hit record every day. Just hit record every day. Hit record to get you used to the motion of hitting record. Hit record so that that side of being on a camera, chatting, filming, it becomes like nothing to you because you've already done it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. Hit record 3 times a day. Hit record on your way to work. Hit record when you walk the dog. Hit record when you're washing up. I don't care, but just get yourself in the space of hitting record and recording without the pressure of having to post it up and all of that shenanigans that gets the mind gremlins going. Because then that side of it will not need your anxiety or your worries anymore. And so that's one hurdle overcome already. So I could talk about this endlessly. I realise that I'm keep looking at the time. Okay, so prepare, breathe, slow down, prepare. Number 4 in my top 5 tips, smile. I know, we so often forget to do that, right? But a smile conveys confidence. If you think about it, people that you meet online, if people are smiling, they look like they're enjoying themselves. If they're enjoying themselves and smiling, they're probably relaxed. If they're relaxed, they're confident, there's nothing to worry about. And so a smile can really make a big difference. And I know it's hard if you're feeling nervous, you're not particularly in an enjoyable place. But here's the thing, the audience takes its cue from you. So if you're looking relaxed, if you're smiling, if you're chatting as if you're talking to your best friend, which is another top tip of mine, then anybody watching is going to go, oh, well, good, nothing to worry about. Here's a person smiling at me, giving me some fantastic information, and I just have to relax and enjoy myself. Yes. So a smile goes a long way to looking and feeling confident as well. It's a bizarre kind of two-way street. If you start smiling, you're actually going to feel more relaxed and feel more confident, as well as look confident. Now, I didn't know what to include in number 5 because I've probably got about 85 tips on looking more camera confident. But I'm going to keep it really simple because it's camera confidence 101, so we're starting at the beginning. Breathe, slow down, practice, smile, and eye contact. Yes. Now this is a really interesting thing that's changed a lot in the last couple of years. In the olden days, way back in, 2019, the received wisdom was to look at the camera. So looking at the tiny little spot there, and looking straight into camera as if there's a person behind and you're chatting to them and you're making eye contact with them. Nowadays, it's okay to look at yourself. So I'm looking at myself on the screen, and that no longer feels weird or looks weird. Okay, so two eye lines. You can either look at the camera, which I'm so used to doing that I kind of do it automatically without thinking, or you can look at yourself. And that's obviously thanks to our online world now, where we're used to Zoom and so on and so forth. So looking at yourself, looking at the camera. I would choose one or the other. We don't mind a bit of flicking between the two. Doesn't really bother us. Again, we're so used to seeing people on screen. But if I was you, I would pick one that you're comfortable with and stick with it, and that's fine. Nobody cares. What is slightly unnerving if we're watching someone on screen is if they look in many different places. And it's okay, also by the way, it's okay to look at your notes. It's okay to look down. Have I got everything here? It's okay to, oh yeah, someone's child just disturbed me, or that's okay, I'm not talking about that. But just pick an eye line and stick to it. And really don't worry about looking at your notes or, looking at your whiteboard. But try and just make eye contact, because I want you to imagine you're talking to your best friend or your best client, and therefore you would naturally make eye contact and you would naturally smile. Just a caveat there for my autistic friends, because I have an autistic family. They're not mad keen on eye contact, but they find eye contact on technology completely different, because it doesn't feel like you're making direct eye contact with a human being. So in fact, looking at a tiny little camera or looking at themselves on screen is no worries. If you have any problems or any issues around eye lines, please drop me a line. I'd be more than happy to help. Okay, as predicted, we're at the end and I have still a million things to say, but let me recap. Let me double check my comments and make sure I haven't missed anybody out. Sometimes Facebook doesn't like to show me all the comments. Thank you, Facebook, not useful. Great, it's telling me I've got 2 new comments, but I can't see them, so if that's you, I apologise. Let's recap then. Camera Confidence 101, my top 5 tips for looking and feeling great on screen. Breathe, slowly. Oh, feels relaxing already. Slow down, more than you think. Over-prepare, under-rehearse. Preparation makes us feel confident. It's about taking action. We know that we've got everything we need. We're just going to hit record, and it's going to become a natural process in no time. Number 4 is smile, because why not? You're happy to be here, I hope. You will be one day. And finally, eye contact or eye line. I know lots of people worry about their eye line. It's not much of a biggie, but just imagine you're talking to your best friend or your best client, and they're behind the camera, or they're looking at you just as you are. Okay, thanks everybody for sticking with me on this very sticky day if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, cold day if you're in the Southern Hemisphere like me. This is Vicky Blades, your visibility coach. No, your video coach. Getting tired, you see, talking all about camera confidence. I would like you to drop the word playlist below if you'd like to see the full playlist of my top 5 confidence tips. It's not this video, it's actually 5 super tiny short videos that goes over these points. Again, it's a playlist, it's on YouTube, so drop the word playlist if you would like me to give you the link to the playlist for the top 5 tips I have for looking and feeling great on screen. As always, any questions, drop them in the comments, tag me, ask me anything. I'm here to help with your video marketing. I am Visibly Yours, and I'm Vicky Blades, your video coach. I'll see you soon.